Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Make Your Day Richer. I, of course, am your host, Bonnie Hunt. I know, it's an odd reference. She had a show for like 3 days. But we love Bonnie Hunt, great actress. And today's guest is living proof that determination beats doubt. Born in the heart of Noblesville, Indiana, Rhonda Parker once struggled with reading and writing, but she didn't let that stop her. Fast forward to 2025, and Rhonda has officially checked to write a novel off her bucket list. Her debut suspense thriller, Crossroads, is gripping readers from page one and is even endorsed by Golden Globe nominated actress Mariel Hemingway. So that sounds like a good show to you. Click that like button, click that share button, and let's start the show.
Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Rhonda, it's so nice to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited, and I love the background, and I love the TV. It just brought back so many memories for me.
That's what it's all about, is just having fun for a few minutes, right?
Exactly. And you know, when you can collaborate with different people and learn so many things, you kind of unearth the truth of what a story can do for everybody's life.
I love that. Tell everybody about your book, Crossroads.
Sure. So Crossroads is a crime thriller. So how I approach the crime thriller is much like what you normally would think would be the climax and then the suspense, but it's like an Agatha Christie Clue based novel. It's based out of Indianapolis. All the sites are real historical sites in Indiana. So the historical buffs out there will get to learn about the Monument Circle, the City County Building, what it's like in the mayor's office in Indianapolis, Holiday Park, how it got its pillars, and then the dead bodies dropped not too far from the Indy 500 behind the Lafayette Square Road on 38th and Guy. And so I try to provide some historical context for people, but I also want them to think. Every single one of the characters are out of life balance. So you get all of these people that have loyalties to all the wrong falsehoods in life. You've got the workaholic that's going to jury duty and doesn't want to be there. You've got the prosecutor who's the law and order guy. And then you've got the defense attorney that's trying to reestablish his career after, you know, making some mistakes in some high profile cases. And so he's, you know, trying to be something different than he was before. And then you have one of the co-defendants who's loyal to his friends and got in the car and he shouldn't have. So you've got all these people in one room trying to come up with a verdict and an outcome for a trial. And really nobody's a winner once they get into the legal system. And when people are out of balance, people can do things to you and things can happen.
Is this your first book?
It's the debut novel. I wrote 5 of them before I even published one of them. I just kept going. So each one of the characters has their own book. So the first one is about Paris Pennington, the workaholic. And you're going through her life, and it's endorsed by Mariel Hemingway. So the younger generation may not know who Mariel Hemingway is. But if you're my generation, that's a big deal. She's an Academy Award-winning actress, author, and then her granddad is the greatest Ernest Hemingway.
So how did that come about?
Well, I worked with a publisher, and as the editing was going through the process, the lady that was actually my account rep said, you know, I think you really could benefit from having an endorser with your book. And I'm like, well, who would you think? And I'm thinking suspense people, right? She's like, no, since this is all about life balance, we need to write a letter to Mariel Hemingway. And I'm like, why would she care? She's like, well, that's her whole platform, taking care of yourself, mental health, making sure that you have life balance in your life. So I was like, well, that's better than what I had in mind with, just doing the horror people and the suspense people that I was having down, doing the list down. So they told me what to do. They said, write a letter and to query her. We'll reach out to her people, and then, we'll get an answer one way or the other, and we can go from there. So she read it, sent an email back with what she would do. She wrote the foreword for Crossroads, and then she also released a YouTube video called Mariel Hemingway Praises Rhonda Parker Taylor's Crossroads. Now, what I loved about it wasn't just the goosebumps that I got from listening to it and, and seeing that someone actually liked my work, because that was the first big person to read it. So that was really my first review, was the fact that when she read it, she was so eloquent about how we all reach crossroads. And that's what the book is all about. It's about when you get to a decision-making process and you get to that turn in the road, you make a decision, and that decision can be success, failure, life, death, sickness, health, depending on, what that crossroads is. And then she said at the very end that it made her reflect on her own life and how she had made it to crossroads. And then that all of us have to decide sometimes that even chocolate has an expiration date.
Ooh.
And, isn't that such a, I had to, after I listened to it, I had to go and see if chocolate really had an expiration date. And it does.
It does.
So I, not only was I thrilled and excited about getting her endorsement, I realized that, when people read, they don't just want to be entertained. We want that escape, but they also want to feel a certain way. And I think what I'm capable of doing in writing is making you reflect on your life. So what I did is in Crossroads, I made everybody out of balance. But that's because in my classrooms, because I'm a college professor, one of the classes is Business 101, where you go through all of your budgets in your life and try to come balanced. So I have a workbook that I'd made that I would pass out to them, and everybody would do it. So then guess what? I can now publish the workbook, and people can say, oh, if I related to Paris, or I related to Billy Knuckles, or I related to Dave, or whoever they related to, they can work through their personal life balance issues.
Wow. There's so much goodness packed in this book. Where did this idea come from?
I think life lessons. When you, not only do we all hit crossroads in our lives, but I had volunteered for a community project that would oversee the legal system in Indianapolis. And in doing that, I realized there is no winners and losers. Everybody's a loser once you step into those doors. And then I started looking at the actual impact. And I realized everybody had some kind of emotional outburst of some sort in the legal system. Even if it's mild, there's so much emotions in the room. And since my research on the academic level is on emotional intelligence, I focused in on 3 emotions: anger, fury, and envy. And all 3 of those can cause a crime. And Proverbs says, anger is cruel, fury is overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Envy makes the bones rot. And I started thinking about how everybody in the system and everybody that's dealing with the system, or even the jurors that, they're in this situation. And it would be very easy for, while you're in that emotional cocoon of trying to do right and wrong and fulfill your duty, or, whatever role you're playing, to get caught up and things happen to you because you're not paying attention. And so that's where I got the droplets of the clues to show that, hey, no matter what you're doing in your life, if you're not paying attention, people can exploit that.
Yeah. Who would you say the book is for? Like, who should be reading this book?
I think
who's going to love it?
Yeah, it's since it's a fiction, anybody 18 and over. It's not, there's no horror in it, there's no gore in it. It's the clue based, like I said, but 18 and older probably would get it. And it's anybody that likes the historical mystery kind of a feel to it, because it has that history from there, and anybody that likes to know about behaviors of people, because my method of defining the characters and the story was through the eyes of what the medical community would see us and the behaviors that we do. So for instance, when we go into the doctor, they make you describe what's been going on with you since the last visit. And you say, okay, I get sore throats easier and this and that. Then they write what each system of the body's doing. And then afterwards, they do a mental health assessment, and what they call it a DSM-5 assessment. And in that, you find out if the person's dressed appropriate for the weather, and they do a checklist. Basically, does this person have anxiety? Does this person have, symptoms of depression? Does this person have emphysema? And then they create a diagnosis. So I created diagnoses for all the characters, and it makes the characters seem more believable. So you want to, if you're a character driven reader where you like to get involved in the characters' lives and understand why they're making the decisions, this is the book for you.
Oh, I love it. What do you love most about your life right now?
That I'm doing what I like to do. So many times we get pulled away from our purpose. And, I've always loved developing people, making people find their story of success and helping them push them out there out of the cocoon's nest and being the person that they are. But I realized that, and thanks to an accountability partner, my older sister, she said, you're doing this for everybody else, but you're not doing yours. And I had to really think about that. And I had to realize that our purpose and our story is our tune list.
Yeah.
So I want my tune list to include being a best-selling author, being open to experiences and trying stuff new. Then I also have to do what I teach other people to do.
I love that. That's a great answer. What's the best way that people can connect with you?
The best way is my website is rhondaparkertaylor.com. Rhonda's with an H. It has all my social medias on there. I am on social media. I love to hear from people. Would glad to hear what you think of Crossroads, or want to know more about the writing process. I would gladly answer those. So just hit me up, follow. And then you can also get, updates on any of the books that are coming out and when.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here and chatting with me today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, anytime. The book is called Crossroads. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back after this. Don't go away. Life is difficult. Are you feeling overwhelmed or like you could use a little support for your mental well-being? Visit the Help Hub. It's the most comprehensive and inclusive free online destination for mental health resources, helpful tools, crisis hotlines, and supportive content. Just go to thehelphub.co to find the resources you need when you need them most. Unlike other resource pages, the Help Hub is divided into 16 different categories, ensuring that everyone in every community has access to the resources and support that matches their unique needs. Find the help you're looking for at thehelphub.co. Welcome back, everyone. Hey, we haven't checked in on views in a while, and I think today might be a milestone. So drum roll, please. 600,998, which means we've already passed, by the end of the show, 601,000 views and downloads. Thank you to everybody who watches, everybody who shares. Now's a good time to just, if you haven't at the beginning, share it now, would you? And tell everybody how great it was and how excited you are to get Rhonda's book. If you'd like to support the show so we can continue to do this, buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/makeyourdayricher. So we're prepping for season 2, and we can only do it with your help. Go make your day richer. Go make somebody else's day richer. You've made mine by watching this show, and I love you for it. We'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.